The baby burnt to death. The infant perished in the flames. Is there any difference in information, for starters? No. It's the same. The emotion has changed, hasn't it? The impact has changed, hasn't it? Your reaction to it has changed, hasn't it? I'd like for you to add one more piece to your language, which is going to be useful to you. Now, I'm going to present this to you in a way that's harsh because it allows you to really sense the contrast more clearly. Is that okay with you guys? So I warn you, I'm going to present to you an idea that's unpleasant because it's going to help you to make a contrast, if that's okay with you guys. What is the difference between these two ideas or statements? The baby burnt to death. The infant perished in the flames. What's the difference? Is there any difference in information, for starters? No. It's the same. The emotion has changed, hasn't it? The impact has changed, hasn't it? Your reaction to it has changed, hasn't it? I have more leverage with one than the other, depending on which situation I need to, what kind of reaction I need to have out of you. Would that be fair to say? What is different in my language between the two? How what? How blunt I am. Well, I'm pretty blunt with both of them. I've described the scene, infant perishing in flames. That's pretty direct. Say again? So they're saying that there's words that are common to most people. Emotive words. You guys are all right. Let me present it to you this way, the idea this way. I call the first style of words hot words because they're emotive, because they have a lot of emotional energy, they're very charged and very loaded. What makes them so loaded? Think of it this way. Who uses a word like infant? A 5-year-old or a 50-year-old? Who's more likely to use it? A 50-year-old, right? Who will use a word like baby? A 5-year-old or a 50-year-old? A 5-year-old, actually both of them, right? So hot words tend to be those words you learnt earliest. And as a result, two things have happened. The first thing is that a word is just a sound. It means nothing until you've associated meanings to it. Does that make sense? You've had longer to associate meanings to the word baby than to the word infant. So there's just a lot of bigger history there. Secondly, as a rule, children tend to feel more intensely than adults. We kind of have emotional shields that we build up as we grow up. It's not always the case, but as a rule, children feel more intensely than adults, which means the associations they make to words at that age tend to be more intense also. Does that make sense to you guys? Number 3, we tend to emphasize the emotional aspects because of the first two reasons. We will unconsciously select words like baby when talking to each other when we want to evoke an emotion. And we'll unconsciously use words like infant when we are wishing to protect ourselves from an emotion. There are certain professions that specialize in this. Let's look at the medical profession, for example. Do they take a knife, stab it in someone's chest, and cut them open? Essentially, they do, don't they? A surgeon, right? A surgeon gets a saw and just cuts right into the, and just, breaks open. Sometimes they get a hammer and chip away at the old breastplate, or yanks it open. Think about the image that I've left inside your mind right now, right? As opposed to a skilled surgeon making an incision with a scalpel or using a surgical instrument to spread the chest cavity, right? You feel very different to both types of language, don't you? So hopefully this makes you very sensitive to the idea of language. The one I want you to be you want to get particularly sensitive to and start using now is this idea of hot words. Where are you most likely to find hot words in our country, in this country, or actually in America, it'll be even better source for it. I'll give you in a minute. The tabloid press, right? In particular, the lower on the end of the tabloid, the better, right? Here in the UK, we used to have a great 80s headline, Freddie Starr ate my hamster. Do you remember that one? Say again? In a bar with drunk people, you may well get that. Although, not necessarily the nicest way of mining for hot words. Children's books is another one, right? Because they're written with a vocabulary designed for that younger age group. In the States, and you can get them actually here as well, there's a magazine tabloid thing called the National Enquirer that is full, in fact, that it only uses hot words. And that's why it's actually one of the highest circulations, because it's easy to read. As a rule, if it's easy to read, it's written in hot words. That's why books written for younger audiences tend to have a simpler vocabulary. I believe the guy who wrote Dr. Seuss, who wrote The Cat in the Hat, he wrote it because he had a challenge with his editor to write a book using only 150 words. Only 150 words are used to write the entire story. There's another one, I forget which one it's called now, a follow-up, which he wrote on the challenge that he couldn't write a whole book using only 50 words. And he did. So I want you to think about hot words, words like baby, words like love, words like want versus desire, right?
If you found this insightful, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating discussions on the power of the mind and hypnosis.